Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Today I'm going to show you how I do my Peachy BBQ Ribs. Now I've got a couple racks of Compart Duroc Ribs. We're going to give them some peach love today. Got the Outlaw fired up. It's going to be putting off some good peach smoke. You know these are going to be delicious. Let's get to cooking. So these BBQ ribs are about 2.5 pounds each slab. I trimmed them up a little bit, made sure the membrane was off the back, and they're ready to go. First thing we're going to do is get some seasoning on them. And for the base coat, I'm just using my BBQ Rub. And I'm just gonna go kind of a light to medium coat. We're not getting super heavy with the barbecue rub because I've got another peach seasoning that we're gonna put on top of that to really kick off the peach flavor on these ribs. Get both sides with a little BBQ Rub. And I'm not using any kind of binder today, but if you want to, hey, go for it. A little mustard won't hurt. Spritz them with a little water, whatever you like. That looks good. We're just gonna pat this in a little bit, give it a little head start, melting these flavors in. But now, I've got some of my buddy Heath Riles Peach Rub. If you got a favorite peach rub, by all means use it. And I've got it in a little sifter. You could use it straight out of the bottle if you want to. It's just giving me a good even coverage here with the peach flavor. Pat that in a little bit. Let's flip them over. We need a little bit of that peach flavor on top too to get things going. I'm not going super heavy with either one of them, so get a light coat. I like using the dread shaker on this because it really gives it an even spread. Now we want these seasonings just to sweat into the meat on the ribs. We're gonna let them hang out for about 30 minutes. Perfect time to go fire up the pit. So for this cook, I'm firing up my Outlaw offset pit. I start with a good base of charcoal. I've got some royal oak, all natural briquettes going in the fire basket. Throw a couple tumbleweeds underneath, get them lit up. That's gonna make a good hot coal bed. Get those temps up to about 275 in the grill. Now to get some peach flavor going for these Peachy BBQ ribs, I've got chunks of seasoned peach wood. We're gonna put those on the hot coals. They're gonna go into flames and produce some heat, but mainly they're gonna give us some of that good, sweet peach smoke. But once the Outlaw gets up close to 250 degrees, I'm gonna go ahead and check the vent back. It only needs to be about a quarter open. That's gonna hold this pit at 275 the whole cook. It doesn't matter what pit you're cooking on. You can do it on anything. Just keep those temperatures between 250 and 275. You'll be on the same timeline. All right, our Outlaw pit is right up to temperature. It took about 30 minutes. You can see the rub has sweat in on these BBQ ribs. They're looking beautiful right now. We're gonna get them in the pit. Let some of this peach smoke work on them. Make sure you straighten them up when you put them on, because that's how they're gonna cook. That looks good to me. I'm gonna close the lid. I'm gonna hold this Outlaw right about 275 today. We're gonna let these BBQs hang out in this peach smoke for a couple hours. Let that bark start developing over the top. Get some good color on them. When they're dry, it'll be time to wrap them. I'll show you what that looks like just here in a minute. So the ribs have been in the smoke for about an hour. We're gonna check on them, and I mixed up a little spritz. This has got Peach Nectar, a little water, a little apple cider vinegar. It's gonna give some great flavor on top of these ribs. But you can see, we're starting to get some fat rendering. We're getting a little bit of the drying out on top of the loin. This is a perfect time, an hour in, just to give them a little spritz. We're just adding moisture to the top of them, keep them from getting too dark on us. Still got a ways to go in the smoke, so we'll get the lid closed, keep letting these dudes roll. They look mighty good. At this point, I'm just gonna add a few more chunks of our peach wood. And once we get through smoking them with the peach wood, I'm gonna switch to some splits just to get the BTUs up, finish out this cook. All right, we're about an hour and a half in. I wanna check these ribs. They are looking fantastic. I mean, we're starting to get that caramelization on them. 30 minutes away from wrapping. I just wanna make sure we keep them moist. So we're hitting them with more of that peach nectar, a little bit of water, a little bit of cider vinegar. I'm gonna add a couple more chunks of that peach wood. Keep that temp right at 275 with that good smoke rolling. We'll wrap these up in about 30 minutes. So our ribs have been on for 2 hours. I know right now it is time to wrap. We've got a beautiful color on the outside. You can see when I touch them, none of that seasoning comes off. They're sizzling, that's that fat rendering. But check them out, those things are beautiful. Backside looks just as good as the top side. We're gonna get over to the board, get these wrapped up, and get them back on so I can get them tender. So I've got a quarter cup of brown sugar down on my aluminum foil, and I'm using Kosmo's Peach Jalapeño Rib Glaze inside the wrap. It's gonna give us some heat, but it's gonna keep that peach flavor going. If I had to guess, about 2 tablespoons of the glaze. We're gonna flip the ribs over into the sugar and the glaze mix. And on the back side, I'm gonna take a stick of butter, cut us some pats. Doing about a half a stick per slab of ribs. One more for good measure. Then we're gonna double wrap these ribs. I've got 2 layers of aluminum foil. We're gonna go up and over, tuck them in tight, and then bring the top 2 layers back. That way I can get in these ribs when I need to check for doneness. Just fold the ends up, make it real easy to get in. And we're gonna put these ribs right back on the pit, get it shut down. We'll check them in about an hour, but I'm looking for 202 to 204 internal, right in between the bones. It's probably gonna be about an hour and 30 minutes total. So the ribs are almost ready to glaze, and I wanted to show you what I'm using today. I've got some peach preserves, heated them in the microwave with just a splash of water to loosen it up. Then I'm gonna pour in some of my barbecue sauce. I'm using the barbecue sauce. You could use whatever sauce you like. We're just making a peach glaze to go on top of these ribs. I'm gonna pour in about half the bottle, just eyeball it, stir it up really good. Then we're gonna go unwrap the ribs and spread this glaze all over the top of the ribs. So these ribs have been wrapped for about an hour and 15 minutes. We're gonna go in them. I know they are just about perfect. Look at all the bone pullback on them. We've got good disintegration. That's what I wanna see. You wanna be real careful with them here. You don't wanna move them too much, but check out how beautiful those things are. That's straight out the wrap. They're already pretty. We're gonna set them right back on the rack, get the other slab unwrapped. Disintegration on both sides. You want to see that. Be real careful with them. They are hot, but they are gorgeous. Set them right back on the rack. So we're going to take our chunky peach and barbecue sauce glaze, go right over the top of them. We won't need a lot of heat for this. We want it about 250. I don't want to burn this sauce or this glaze. It's sweet, so it'll burn fast. We just want to get a good coating of that on the top of these peachy baby back ribs. We'd shine them bones up. Same thing for the other slab. Just brushing it right over the top. Peach wood, peach glaze in the wrap, peach preserves in the sauce, and I'm gonna hit them with a little bit more of Heath's Peach Rub, just to give us a little texture over the top. We need about 10 or 15 minutes. It's gonna be time to try these ribs. All right, after 15 minutes, that peach glaze is set right over the top of these ribs. I'm gonna carefully get them off, but look at that. That is beautiful. Perfectly glazed on top, pretty drawback on them bones. These Compart ribs, about to be dynamite. Back looks good on them. Let's take them over to the board, because I want to try some. Well, y'all check it out. These ribs have sat here for about 5 minutes. I'm not letting them sit too long, but that is how I want a slab of baby back ribs cooked. All those flavors. You think they're tender? Look at that. You can break them right apart. That bone comes out perfectly clean. I'm gonna take another one here. I ain't wasting no time today. Oh, look at that baby back Bart. I gotta try that on camera. That Compart rib, man. Juicy, tender. You get the peach smoke. Of course, we get the peach glaze. We got the peach rub. A little spice from the peach Kosmos with the jalapeno we put inside the wrap. This is a delicious rib. I would go to bat with that any day. Oh man, they're not falling off the bone. I can still take this rack of ribs and bend them, but when you get ready to tear them, the meat just comes right off, perfectly clean. That's how you know you got a good cook on some ribs. Son, I could eat this rack. These ribs are special. If you've never tried peach flavors with pork, you're missing out. You want to give this one a shot. Guarantee you're gonna love it. Thanks for hanging out with us here at HowToBBQRight. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to the channel. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're even doing TikTok now and having a lot of fun with those, so y'all check those out too. Shell and I will talk about this peach rib recipe, all the other delicious stuff we're cooking on our weekly podcast. Give it a listen. We'll see y'all next time. I thought the apple pie ribs was good. These peach ones, that'd make everybody in Georgia proud right there. I've motorboat that one. That's what I'm talking about. Nom, 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 nom. All up in there.